Hey guys, welcome to Serious Laughs. This is episode 22, How to Transform Your Fears at Any Age.
How the power of dream writing isn't just for kids.
Hey guys, it's Molly. I'm an actor, director, and producer.
Hi everyone, I'm Sheri. I am an actor, a writer of children's books and young adult, and I am a voiceover actor.
Yeah, you wear many hats.
Yeah.
You're very talented.
Well, as are you, Molly.
Well, thank you. But it's all about you today because, guys, we're talking. Sheri, she has just published her book, Dream Right, available on Amazon. Where else is it available, Sheri? The big one, Amazon?
That's it. I didn't want to deal
Don't just say that's it, because that's the big one. Everybody, you can get
Amazon. I did, yes. And this is a tip
Amazon
for anyone who is considering whether or not to go with an agent or a publisher. That's a whole different realm. I looked into that. At one point, a publisher was interested. They were going to take the book on. And when I did the math, I ended up with maybe a quarter of a profit, 25 cents every book. So for me, this whole year has been about the age of agency. And I thought, you know what? As flattering as it is to the ego to have a traditional publisher, I went my own way. So this is actually a relaunch of a book that was with Wonderland Press. And now it's with my own company, Butterfly Inc. It's relaunched under my name. So this has a lot of personal empowerment attached to it for me. There's so much power, Molly, in a name. Whether it's you take someone else's name, you keep your name, you have a pen name, there's so much power in that choice. And for me, it was a personal choice of the original name, Kiss, was great. It's my close friend, Lori Kiss. That's her birth surname, but it wasn't my name. So this is my name, and the proof came in. I'm waiting on the full order. So that's the proof.
I love it.
But it's my chance to say, yeah, that's me. That's me.
That's you.
Yeah.
And this book is amazing. Sheri sent me a PDF of the book so I could read, because we had talked about it, because one night my 7-year-old was going to bed and he was having a very emotional night. Like, he was worried about mom and dad passing away. He just kind of had some scary thoughts, like right before he went to bed. And I ended up staying with him and rubbing his belly until he fell asleep. And you mentioned your book, Dream Right, would be perfect for him, because it's all about this idea of taking your dreams. And in this case, it's an actual dream, a nightmare that a little boy is having, taking that and rewriting it. So we could talk about that figuratively in the dream world as you're sleeping, or literally taking those dreams and putting an ending and making it the story that you want to see. So it's such a cool book. And that's why the title of this is How to Transform Your Fears at Any Age. Because you could be 7, you could be 45, 70. It doesn't matter.
Nope.
So I don't know this story actually. So I want to know what prompted you to write this book? Was there something because you have 2 boys, was there something that happened with your own children that prompted you to write it, or what? Tell us the story.
It's so funny you asked that, Molly, because it was both for the adult in me and for my son that brought this on. I, at the time, had been having a recurring bad dream where I was panicked. I'm sure everyone can relate to this, that feeling of, oh my God, whether it's a math test or that you're not ready for, right? That feeling of being caught naked. For me, the recurring dream was I was in a place where I needed to go to college, but classes were starting. I didn't have the money to pay for college. I didn't have a way to get to the college. I didn't know what I was majoring in. And while that might sound like a first world problem to many, we can all relate to that feeling of a dream being real. And I'd go right back to sleep every week or every couple of weeks, and I'd wake up in a pool of sweat because of this dream recurring of me not having, it was a sense of, when we started talking, it was about agency, right? And so I
Mm-hmm.
felt like I didn't have agency in the dream. It was very scary. Um, and so I spoke to a friend who is a cognitive behavioral therapist. And she said, it's gotten to the point now where I just don't want to go to sleep because I know I'm going to wake up in a pool of sweat. I don't know my
Oh,
classes.
geez.
I can't get to the campus. Why is this so? And she said, you're having an out of control dream. It's symbolic. The school is irrelevant. Like where you're going, the dream represents this loss of control. And that's why you feel panic, because something in your life is making you feel like you're out of control. And at the time, I was in a very controlling relationship. So it all kind of comes back. You could see it
Oh,
looking
dang.
back, right? So I said, well, what can I do? I don't want to go to bed anymore. I don't want to keep having this dream. And she
That's
said,
terrible.
yeah, it was real. Like it was a literal dream.
Yeah.
And so she said, just right before bed, what you want to dream about. I'm like, well, what are you talking about? And she said, in cognitive psychology, you're playing with your subconscious when you write. So right before bed, I gave myself this beautiful Range Rover. I'm like, I'm going to give myself $500. I'm like, I thought it was so silly. I picked a college. I picked what I was majoring in. And that night, I dreamed what I wrote. And I
Oh,
thought there's
weird.
something there. There's some power in writing. You do play with your subconscious. So then I thought, okay, that's kind of cool. And then one night, just like a week or two later, Molly, my son said, Mom, I can't sleep. I'm terrified. I said, what are you
Oh.
terrified of? And he kept stuffed animals all over his room. He was about 5 at the time. And I said, well, what are you scared about? A bear. A bear is going to come and get me. I don't want to go to sleep. He's going to be drooling and coming after me with his pointy teeth. And I'm like, okay. Why don't you dream write about the bear you want to see? It just came out of me. This
Wow.
from the week before talking to my
Mm-hmm.
friend who's the cognitive behavior therapist. And he was confused. He said, what do you mean? Same way I was. And
Yeah.
I said, well, why does it have to be a grizzly bear? Why can't it be like a cute little cub wearing lipstick and dangly earrings? And he's like, and a tutu? And I said, yes, and a tutu. Hello. And so we acted it out what the cub bear would be like. And he went to sleep that night. And to this day, my son is 21 now, as of this recording. That was a little bit ago. I know it's amazing because I'm still
You're still
that
16.
age. I'm still 16. Don't think about it. Get jiggy with it. But to this day, he tells me that he dream writes.
Really?
Yeah, he's in college and he doesn't call it dream writing. I asked him about it. I said, for a while there, you were doing it because I knew we were doing this show. And I said, do you still do it? And he said, yeah, it taught him the cognitive tool of breaking things down, not making assumptions. The idea of using writing as a meditative tool for change. And so he'll write his way out of a corner. He'll write his way through a problem. It gives him that perspective. And I think what happens, and this is what I do when I give talks to students at different schools with this book, we talk about the word imagination, and the word imagination has the word image in it. And what is an image? It brings up all of our senses, right? What we see, what we taste, what we feel, what we smell. There's 5. Come on. See, taste, touch, feel, smell. 5 senses.
You got
And
them
the
all.
feel one, I got them. I still got it. And the feel one isn't just for touching, right? It's also your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So often we ask these 2 words, what if? But cognitively, we go into default mode if we're not aware of what if as a negative thing. Well, what if the bear comes after me? What if he tries to eat me? But we can change that what if through the power of writing to what if it is a little cub bear? And what if we eat giant chocolate chip cookies together? What if we play Twister? What if we have a great time? And now all of a sudden, because of the way we've altered our perception, we've altered our reality. And that is so powerful.
I love that so much.
Aww.
And no, I love it. And I love that the fact that also your son is still doing it to this day. So it just proves that it is cool because he's 21. So it's cool to do.
It really is.
And I think maybe even if you're not having or experiencing scary dreams, you could still because I can't imagine he experiences scary dreams all the time, your son at this point. So I'm curious to know some of the things he writes down. It's just, or like maybe, is it questions? Because I've done this before. I'm like, okay, and I haven't written it down, but I'll lay in bed and I think, all right, I need help with this. Let's in my dreams, let's get help with this tonight. And it doesn't work probably because I'm not writing it down because I think there is something special to actually putting it to paper.
I don't know what it is, but I think when we use writing as a tool for transformation, not to write an essay, not to make a note for the store, like pick up,
right,
$20 eggs. But when we write a note, a letter with purpose, whether it's to ask a question of the universe, ask your higher self, I think there's an alchemy that takes place. And because writing becomes a meditative tool. We think of meditation only as
yeah,
but we can do walking meditation. I love doing laundry because for me it's meditative. It's mindless. I can just let my mind wander. I find the shower can be very meditative. So the same is true for writing. If you're writing for self-reflection, the act of not typing, but actually using a pencil or a pen, it slows down the pause between your thought and actually putting it into words forces some kind of meditation on us that gives us the power to transform. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Drawing too. I think anything
sure.
that connects your brain to your feelings, it forces you to slow down. And I will say there's something else. I was joking about the shopping list, but I also notice when I write down like chicken, fish, whatever it is on the list, most times I always end up forgetting my list by the time I get to the supermarket. But I could see it on the list. So there's
You're
something
funny.
about...
No, I agree. There is something about it because I always play a game with myself when I go shopping. I have the list. I write it down. I put it in my wallet. And then I get to the store and I'm like, I'm not using the list. I'm not using the list. And I don't use it. And I see how many things I actually got. And I usually get everything. I'm like, oh yeah, I got everything. And then on occasion I won't get something and it's like way on the fucking other side of the store. I'm like, no, I don't want to go back there. And I don't. I just leave it. Put it on next week.
Put it on next week. There'll always be a next week. We're never going to get
always be a next week.
But yeah, he has told me he uses it on. He'll use it for things he's going through. For like,
great.
He really wanted a job with this company and he wasn't sure, so he worked. He wrote it out. It walks you through that. And this is the only children's book. And if we can go to the final page, I think I put it in there. It offers a prompt for no,
that's the last slide.
Is it what happens when you get old? You don't remember what you put in.
That's okay. I have the prompt right here on another. I mean,
why didn't I thought I did it. My bad.
It's okay. Do you want me to read it?
Sure.
Okay, so this is what it says on the very last page. It says note to reader. So it's like a little assignment to help you get started. It says it's normal to have scary dreams sometimes. Share a scary dream you've had with someone you love. How would you write it differently? If it's easier, you can write in pictures too. The key is to change your story to something you want to happen. Dude, and that is like, right, this is a children's book, but hello, that's, again, it's for everybody. And it sounds so simple, but adults don't, I would imagine not a lot of people are doing this.
Probably not. I wouldn't have known. I would not have known. And it has helped me so many times, even if it's a willingness to want to feel better. I want to feel better. Show me how I can do that. And then you surrender to that. And it's really, sometimes with little kids, maybe it's talking it out, but I have seen it again and again that kids really do feel better when they dream right. And I think it has a lot to do with that agency. When you feel like you're in the driver's seat at any age, your confidence goes way up.
100%.
You're no longer relying on someone or something external to make a difference in your life. You're learning to, what do they call that? Like the babies, they cry, you let them self-soothe. We're teaching children at a young age, when their brains are so pliable, how to self-soothe, how to self-regulate. That you don't need to go outward. You don't need to take a pill later on to help you fall asleep. You don't need to take a pill or a drug to self-medicate. You can self-soothe by going inward, and this is a tool to do that.
So important.
Yeah,
It's so
I wish
important.
I wrote it because I wish someone had done this for me when I was little, but you can do it at any age. Our brains are still pliable. Not as much as when we're kids, but imagine a world, Molly, if every kid knew, wow, my parents are fighting. I might fail out of school. Whatever the problem is, we're in poverty. I'm scared. What can I do? I can dream right. I can change my destiny now by changing the way I feel. And sometimes it's just a willingness to want to change how you feel. Doesn't mean you're going to, but just the willingness. I want to see this differently. I want to, and then surrendering to that. And I put it in there at the end, the note to reader. Share this with someone you love. Share a scary dream you've had with someone you love, because I want the child to know, this is a sacred space. You need to share your dream, not just with anyone. It needs to be someone. Yeah. So,
you touched a little bit because you found this out from somebody who is a cognitive behavioral therapist, which, by the way, folks, we're going to have one of those on our podcast here in a couple weeks. Yeah. Which is going to be so interesting. So what is cognitive psychology? For kids, and why is it? Did we touch on this already? No, we didn't really. What is it?
No, and I'm not an expert, but I was a patient of cognitive behavioral therapy, so I guess I learned that way.
Yeah. And then why is it important?
Anything with cognition is about learning. That's all it means. Cognitive tools. It's a fancy word for the way we think, and those first 6 years of life are so important on so many levels. That's when we're the most pliable, and we are taught either healthy or unhealthy cognitive tools. So cognitive behavioral therapy focuses on addressing those cognitive behavioral challenges. So for example, black and white thinking, all or nothing. That's something we tend to do. If I get this job, if I marry this man, if then everything will be great. And if I don't marry this man, if I don't get pregnant, whatever it is, everything will be awful. If this person's president, it'll be okay. Everything will be solved. If this person's president, the world is coming to an end. When we do that black and white thinking, we're setting ourselves up for pain, right? But if we're not aware of that cognition, then you can't change something until you're aware. So that's one. Another one is the invisible yardstick. Well, she's doing well. Why can't I do well? So if I'm not, well, she's thinner, she's younger, she's prettier, she's written more books, she's more successful. Look at that. She has a nice home. I don't, whatever it is. Social media tends to bring out the invisible yardstick in us. And a lot of times it stays invisible, right? It's like we're annoyed by what we see someone posting, and then we move on, and then we wonder why we're in a bad mood. So cognitive behavioral therapy says, did you catch what you just did? That was the invisible yardstick. So there's another one, catastrophizing. That's another cognitive error. And so DreamWrite really is addressing that cognitive error of catastrophizing. Okay. Oh my God, this is, and then this, I'll never sleep again, and then I'll die, and catastrophizing. So there's a whole bunch of cognitive errors that, and again, I'm not an expert. I was a patient, and it really helped, the therapy I got for it. And what happens is when we do dream writing, when we become aware of these tools, then it becomes almost a default. You're changing your neural pathways. So now when I'm stressed, sometimes I don't dream write, plenty of times I don't, but it's gotten to be just like when you go to the gym, it's muscle memory. You've changed your muscle memory. So you're able to not, I call it Oreo cookie think, black and white, all good, all bad. I tend to go, okay, well, let's look at the forest for the trees. Let's look at the big picture here. If I see someone who, she, is living in Italy, and she's with this gorgeous man, and they have the best life, and I'm feeling that invisible yardstick. I say, you do not know the whole story, and good for her. Right. She has her stuff. You have your stuff. Everybody has stuff. And that's okay. I'm able to do that. Whereas when I first started, it was a lot of writing to get through that, to get the muscles going. Okay. And the gift for me for these kids is they're so pliable. And so if they can do that at a young age and learn to self-govern, because the world will fill them without these skills, without this awareness. My concern is the world will fill them, as you know, with judgment, right? Yeah. We're human, right? We live in a dualistic world. We live in up, down, gravity, no gravity, red, green, go, stop. Everything is polar, right? So we live in a world, and kids are sponges. So this, to me, is an antidote to that. So the next time someone says, well, you did this and you did that, and they start to internalize, they can say, oh, wait. I'm going to go in and let me listen to what I really think. What I think, not what the world is telling me. Right. And we're living in a time now of great upheaval. So if you look at just the external, you can say, oh, wow, this is kind of scary. Or you can say, you know what? I don't have to join the fear. Yeah. I could be aware of it, but not take it in.
That's so good. I want to land on this question because you speak, you're such a good speaker, Sheri, and so I know this book I know this, I know this book is really special to you, and I love it. So what's different about this children's book that there's lots of good children's books out there, right? Obviously we know this.
Oh God, yeah.
So what's different about this one?
This one is a call to action. This one has an activity.
Mm-hmm.
This one engages. I don't know of any other book that both entertains and speaks to engaging the child of any age. I don't know any book that has a note to the reader at the end for kids. And that doesn't mean it doesn't exist, but there's thankfully so many books out there that do address social, emotional, cultural issues, whether it's, gender identification, ethnic differences,
Mm-hmm.
Poverty challenges, environmental concerns, and then there's books of great faith for kids,
Mm-hmm.
where where there's hope and inspiration. So I think there's definitely unusual books that address a myriad of topics out there that are unusual on their own. This one is the only one of its kind that I know that deals with the emotional well-being of a soul, through action,
Mm-hmm.
through tapping into our subconscious, and in fostering agency in a kid. I don't know any other book that does that.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I was going to say too. You mentioned a lot of a lot of great topics that are so important for kids to see, but no matter what you're reading, it all starts from what's inside,
Mm-hmm.
from where you stand inside as a child. And the lesson in this book, albeit seemingly very simple, can take them through their whole life. It's such a good lesson for their whole life. And it has to start, from inside,
Mm-hmm.
with all the crap that's going on around us, like we just talked about a little earlier. So I love that it takes them inward.
Mm-hmm.
It takes them
teaches
inward.
them, instead of the what if that is so prevalent in our world now, but what if this? What if the eggs get ridiculously expensive? What if Gaza becomes the next Riviera? What if the people in Palestine have nowhere to live? What if? What if? What if? What if there's no more jobs? What if? It takes the what if and turns it into what if this could happen? What if out of all this, opportunity can happen? And when you teach that what if skill in a positive way when you're young, that muscle, just like exercise, becomes natural for us.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes
That's so important.
Well, what if it works out? What if that?
Yeah. That's so true. And you're teaching them to tune in, to tune out. Tuning in to tune out.
Tune out. Yeah. Yeah.
Like get rid of the noise, tune in and get rid of the noise.
Yeah. And we're at that point. We're at that point in history. It's like the noise is getting really, really loud. So you could either fight it and be exhausted, or you could just go, okay, you keep making your noise and I'm going to be over here. I'm going to be writing the life I want to have and experience. And it doesn't have to be a literal bear or figurative bear. I mean, you can't live without experiencing that emotion of fear. And I think in our society, we're taught to medicate it. We're taught to shove it down, Molly. We're taught to deny it and just move on. Just move on. Come on. Come on. But it doesn't move on in the body. It gets stuck. How much healthier is it for us to go, oh, I see you, fear. What do you have to teach me? What can I learn from this? And what if I do something with that fear?
Sorry, I'm making a note here. These are good sound bites, Sheri. That's all I'm doing. I'm listening.
I'm so glad. Sound bites away, darling.
Sound bites. Truly, I mean, it's such a fun read. Is there anything else you want to say about the book? I just want
No,
people to see it. I want people to get their
thank you.
hands on it.
Thank you. I have another book ready to go, and I'm
Okay.
deciding whether to do a publisher or self-published. It's Feel Right. So it's the same concept of using writing to empower you. And it's about handling that emotional piece. So I'm looking forward to having that out there in the world soon.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Oh, I'm proud of both of us.
Well, I really, truly, you wrote a freaking book, dude.
What a freaking book, dude.
You wrote a freaking book and it's freaking good. Y'all, you can find it on Amazon, Dream Right Picture Book. Of course, we always tag Sheri, but her Instagram is Sheri Jacobs Author. And she has a website, Sheri-Jacobs.com. For any information, and she likes DMs. If you want to DM her on Instagram, she always writes back.
And not that way. No. And Bill Megan Hart, a shout out to Bill. I don't know if can we give a shout out? Can we show how talented he is? He did these illustrations.
Let's do this.
Can we see some pictures? I mean, look what he did. Look how amazing.
And I just realized because it's so good. Oh yeah, I love that. And then I realized I was like, oh cute. There's little chocolate chips on the pajamas there, but it's because he makes chocolate chip cookies with the bear later in his new dream.
Yes, I love that you picked up on that. Yeah, no stone was unturned. We focused on all the details, and you'll notice. See, there's the agency going on right now.
So I tell the little cub to come inside and have some gooey chocolate chip cookies with me. The big ones Mom makes.
And yes, I acted out without medication. And so what we thought would be funny when we collaborated is to make sure the dog is part of this. And the dog represents the ego of the boy. So he's mirroring everything the boy has. And then when he, and he has to be a part of every picture. But if we go back to the chocolate chip, so I wanted to show the bear. Ironically, he was so scared of the bear, but the bear has fantastic manners. And the kid
look at him,
is the one is like a pig.
Love it. Oh my God.
So
and then in the middle of the yeah, I know, it's so true. And the little nose of the dog is poking up between both of them there.
Yeah, that was our dog. Actually, she unfortunately passed, but that was, and no stone was unturned. But you see how, for the reader, they're transformed. Like if you look at the earlier picture of the bear, he's terrified of the bear. So we're taken in on this journey in his imagination. And when I act this story out to kids, there's always a handful of 4 and 5-year-old eyeballs that are just like terrified. And I want to tell them, just hold on, it changes. And by the end, they're lit up like Christmas trees. They're just they feel empowered. Yeah. They're like, I don't want to.
Well, that's what you wanted.
Yeah.
That's what you wanted.
Take them on a journey.
Exactly. Yeah. I love it. Guys, you got to get this book. Go to Amazon, Dream Right Picture Book, grab it, and please subscribe. If you like these podcasts, subscribe, share with your friends. We're just living the dream, baby. We're living the Dream Right Picture.
The Dream Right Picture Book.
What an amazing book. You guys be sure to go check it out on Amazon. And that's a wrap. Remember, when everything's going wrong, it just means you're crafting a great story. Stay tuned for more episodes where we turn life's lemons into laughable tales. Don't forget to like and subscribe and keep finding the best in the worst, because life's too ridiculous not to laugh at it.